Leaders from many countries visit China, even Trump lowered his stance. At the same time, a poll highlights the stark contrast between China and US images. What does it mean that so many countries are visiting China? What message does this poll result convey? Hello everyone, I'm Quan, and welcome to Global Overview. Recent diplomatic activities show a clear shift in attention toward China. The SCO Foreign Ministers meeting just concluded, and now Chinese Foreign Minister Wang Yi announced the SCO summit will be held in Tianjin from August 31st to September 1st. Leaders from over 20 countries and heads of 10 international organizations will attend. This isn't just an ordinary meeting, it's a concentrated showcase of China's major diplomatic efforts for the second half of the year. Structurally, leaders from these 20-plus countries basically cover the 10 official SCO member states, 20 observer countries, and more. There are also 4 dialogue partner countries. Considering China will hold the 80th anniversary commemoration of the victory in the War of Resistance on September 3rd, the number of foreign leaders coming to China may far exceed this figure. Countries are lining up to visit China, which not only signifies recognition of China's diplomacy but is also a positive response to China's growing international influence. On the other hand, Trump, who has yet to finalize his visit to China, has also started to adopt a softer stance toward China. According to Bloomberg, in recent staff meetings, Trump has often been the most moderate voice on China. He has reduced his previous accusations about the huge trade deficit and unemployment, and no longer frequently and loudly calls for additional tariffs, but is instead shifting his approach. Factual evidence supports this shift, such as renegotiating a procurement agreement with China, similar to his first terms. On July 15th, NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang announced in China that the H20 chip received renewed US approval for export. This is highly symbolic. High-end chips once strictly controlled are now allowed for sale, breaking the US taboo on tech restrictions. Previously, US Treasury Secretary Bessent cited this as a hallmark of America's tough policy. But now, things have changed. The attitude has shifted toward cooperation. On tariffs, the US signals easing tensions. The 90-day tariff truce, set to expire August 12th, is described by Bessent as flexible. He urged the market not to be anxious about this date. Insiders suggest the truce may be extended for more negotiation time. While the US pressures other countries with tariffs, it exercises restraint toward China. This shows there's still room for negotiation and cooperation between China and the US. The shift in US domestic attitude toward China also reflects a trend. Trump emphasizes pragmatic cooperation, especially as midterm elections approach and he faces dual pressures regarding economic performance and international image. Additionally, on July 15th, at an energy and innovation summit, Trump again mentioned China. On one hand, he claimed he wouldn't allow China to surpass the US in artificial intelligence. On the other hand, he also said competition would be conducted friendly. This contradictory statement reflects the wavering nature of his policies. The outside world speculates, if China makes specific requests to the US in the future, such as expanding purchases, easing tech restrictions, or deeper economic cooperation, to what extent will the Trump administration make concessions? The lifting of the NVIDIA chip ban is one example, and more similar cases may follow. On the same day, the Pew Research Center released a global public opinion survey covering 25 countries. This survey, which involved more than 30,000 participants, showed that 41% of respondents believe China is the world's leading economic power, surpassing the United States at 39%. The data indicates that China's overall favorability among the international public has begun to rebound. In middle-income countries, especially in the global south, China is seen as the world's leading economic power, while favorability toward the United States and Trump personally has declined. The report points out that in 13 countries, a majority of respondents believe China is currently the world's strongest economy. This is higher than countries considering the United States stronger, with Indonesia, Mexico, South Africa, Argentina, and France showing a shift in opinion. Compared to 2 years ago, when the US was favored, there is now greater recognition of China's economic strength. More importantly, in middle-income countries, the proportion of people who see the US as a threat is generally higher than those who see China as a threat. This result makes the comparison between China and the US clear. In short, changes in today's international landscape are evident. The era of dominance through tariffs and military deterrence is fading, while China's pragmatic, stable, and open approach has earned international trust. Meanwhile, the United States has lost international voice due to policy flip-flops and strategic imbalance. The international community hopes not a zero-sum game with winners and losers, but for China and the US to find the right way to get along in this new era. The future of China-US relations will be uncertain, but currently, the world is making its choice. Who is more trustworthy? Who can better promote global stability?